Fatty, he would love to be here today to watch Manly take on the competition leaders in round 22 of the Telstra Premiership. Lockyer and his troops out onto the ground first. They have been at the head of the table since round 9 this year. The hottest of favourites for the minor premiership, but here at Brookvale, what a record. Justin Hodges, Darren Smith, they're the only two players to have won a match here, and neither of those players while they were representing Brisbane. What a year, Sean Berrigan, leading try scorer in the NRL and a hat-trick against the Eagles back in round 8 at Suncorp Stadium. That was a Friday night game. It was a big one for Brisbane. And it was back in round 8 that Manly led the competition. They have been in the top 8 all season. Broncos troops kept waiting here. Tony Carroll at lock for them. Over to the Sea Eagles. Michael Monaghan still in the news. Leads them out. They have lost their last 3 at home. Yet the fans have not lost faith, hoping that this club can recycle their form from earlier this season, where they won 7 straight games here. Ashley Albert spent a couple of years at the Broncos, was hampered by serious shoulder injuries to the point where he contemplated retiring, and Brett Stewart at the back. What a record at Brookvale for getting across the stripe. 14 tries in total this year, matching his tally of 2004. Paul Simpkins referee.
Right to go.
Broncos in their away white strip today against the maroon and white. The famous maroon and white of Manly. We're underway in 9 Sunday football. And Brent Cott it is for Manly.
Marcus Ware.
Into the hold of Webke for tackle number 1. The Manly side who had a 12-point lead last week against the Cowboys and will run down. And now from dummy half, Chad Randall, and across with Monaghan. Going to stretch it from 10 metres out from their own line. Stewart coughed it up. Ambitious play by Manly comes unstuck on tackle number 3.
Very well read by that man, Leon Bott. He realised that they were short in numbers, made a decision. He's only a young player in the top grade. It's only his 18th first or 19th first grade game. A good decision made.
What a chance for the Broncos, and Berrigan it was coming across field for Carmichael Hunt, juggled by Hodges. Hodges is held up, but that's only tackle 1. They're 11 metres out from the line, first minute of play. Brad Thorne with it for Brisbane. Williamson hanging on. He needed help though to get him to ground. Rolling away was Alberts as they swing to the right, and Carlaw had to dive onto the ball. And now the Broncos steal a metre from the line. First receiver Seymour standing very deep to the left. Lockyer picks out his man, finds Berrigan. He's going to put the head down and run for the line off the hand of Menzies. Well, he definitely played at it. He had a snatch at the ball.
Well, if this pass has gone backwards from Sean Berrigan, then it will be a Brisbane feed. Sean Berrigan trying to get on the outside. And it is a Brisbane feed. Pass did go backwards or directed backwards.
Still 10 metres out. Seymour. They get another crack at them with Lockyer and spreading the ball out for Hodges. Here's trouble. 5 metres from the line. Superb tackle by Stewart. It was the fullback. A classic. Lockyer for Tony Carroll. And Randall's up there with Kite and also King. Manly trying to cold the Broncos out. They're going to do it. Tate's put the ball down on the right-hand side. 2 cracks at Manly. And both times they come unstuck.
Yeah, sometimes you can get a little bit too much possession early in the game at that end of the field. You want to settle into the game with a bit of a hit up, kick, tackle. But suddenly the Broncos have got 3 opportunities down on the Manly line in the opening part and have come up with a couple of basic errors. Reminds me a little bit of Origin 3, where they had all that ball early, couldn't get across the line, Queensland. And New South Wales were able to hit back straight away.
Big lift for Manly to survive that early onslaught. Sideline duties this afternoon with Tim Gilbert.
Absolutely beautiful, 20 degrees, little or no breeze to speak of, and already a little bit of gamesmanship. The Broncos wanted to train in the adjacent sporting field. Manly locked them out. They had to train in the car park.
And now Randall back for Kennedy, on for Menzies. Menzies, little show of the ball, got past Seymour, then kept it alive for Kennedy. Here they go down that left side. Stewart away. Alberts can't handle. And a knock on against Manly.
Fair opportunity there for Manly too. Instigated by Steve Menzies. He really is a marvel, isn't he? And Kennedy knew that there was a chance on the outside, but the pass to Alberts, he just took his eyes off the football, looking at the defence. Interesting move by Wayne Bennett too, with Petro Civoniceva out of this game to start with Dane Carlaw, in preference to a specialist front rower in Corey Parker.
Stop-start opening to the game that time. Manly, they broke the scrum early. It wasn't just the lock, it was both second rowers, and probably you could throw a front rower into the bargain as well. They all jumped the gun. So Broncos penalty 45 metres out. And another attack inside the Manly 20. Coming up right now, Webke's going to take the first one. Here he comes, Shane Webke. Running into a Origin rival in Ben Kennedy. That was from years gone by. Webke retiring out of the rep scene. He's still good enough to play it. They're 5 metres out from the line. Carlaw will play it. Maguire in a dummy half. Kennedy again the defender. This time Carroll has a crack at them. And Kennedy, 3 straight tackles, is there as first man in. Held up high by Monahan. They come a little deeper this time. Across with Lockyer. His men lined up. This is Berrigan. And Berrigan has tackled again beautifully low. It was Terry Hill. Right on the goal line. Bot for Lockyer. Left foot kick. Plenty of chasers there. Seymour has got to it first. And there wasn't a Maroon white jumper in sight. It's 4 points to 0. And not even 5 minutes gone.
Well, there have been try-saving tackles already on the two centres. On the far side, Hodges. On this side, Berrigan. And Darren Lockyer didn't wait till the last tackles. We freeze it there. These are the two chasers. That's the try scorer. That's David Stagg on his inside. As the kick goes through, all the Manly players have come up. And Brett Seymour, one of 2 players in the Brisbane lineup to have played every game for them this year, gets the opening points.
Well, there's the number 1, Brett Stewart, the fullback, actually up in the line, putting his foot out, trying to stop the kick. And it's something that the Manly side do. When the ball is spread across their field to get more numbers in the line, they bring their fullback up. There's Brett Stewart, your number 1, your fullback. Instead of being behind the line, looking for the grubber kick, he's in the front line defending, leaving the space at the back. Darren Lockyer recognised it. Seymour supported him. It's going to be 6-0 to the Broncos.
He now has 6 tries for the year, and he's also first choice goal kicker. He's taken over that job from Darren Lockyer. 10 metres out, and it's a 6-0 scoreline here at Brookvale in 9 Sunday football. Stay with us. Sunny Sunday afternoon at Brookvale in round 22 of the Telstra Premiership. A month away from the playoffs. The Broncos will be there. Manly still hoping so. Webke bounced away from King and is held in the tackle of Tutt. And now Carlaw really fired up on that second charge. Tackled 15 metres short of halfway. That is a good sign for Carlaw, who's been a little out of sorts this year. Now for Tate. Driven back there by Williamson on the Broncos 40. Kite and Randall also involved in the tackle now. Brad Thorne. They're big boys, some of these Brisbane forwards. Maguire in a dummy half, short of halfway, and Seymour to kick before the last. A little deflection there as it goes all the way back for Stewart. 10 metres out from his own line. Stewart is held there by Bott and by Berrigan. 12 metres away from their own line. Hicks coming back infield, and many of his teammates still getting back on side. Hill's the man at a dummy half, but this is tackle number 3. And they're only just outside their 20, Manly. And now Williamson back in for Jason King. There's a big bump off Webke on King. To return the favour a little later on. Now Monahan kicks. This is from inside the 40. Got the angle on the kick. It just went left a little sooner than he hoped. Finds the line 25 metres out.
It's not a bad response from Manly, and as I said in the pre-match talk, the modus operandi of the Broncos this year is to get out to a good lead and protect their points. Now Manly have just got to stay in the contest for the first half hour. They've conceded the first try. They want to make sure they're next to score. And it doesn't matter if it takes a half hour to do it. control the ball, kick and chase well, keep the Broncos away from your line, and then wait for your bench players to come on fresh and hopefully get you back in the contest.
And Brent Tate from the scrum, the first man to get the ball. Thrown to ground in the Williamson Menzies tackle. Now Maguire coming up for Stagg, and Kennedy rushed up out of the line to take Stagg to ground, and then second push is going to be penalised. Terry Hill probably didn't help Ben Kennedy out there. Between them, they've conceded the penalty. And Brisbane to go on the attack yet again inside the Manly half. And it's Maguire with a free kick. Brad Thorne to take the first one this time, running at Kite. Kite and Williamson on tackle one. A couple of balls on the field at the moment. 38 metres out from the Manly line. And they work it tight with Carlaw. Running with plenty of gusto so far in this match. 28 metres now from the Manly goal line. Maguire out of dummy half, got away from Kite. He looked inside, or he heard a call. It was Webke. Couldn't get it to him. Here's another penalty to the Broncos. There's trouble brewing here for Manly.
A good charge out of dummy half there from Casey Maguire, aided by the outside run of Shane Webke. Put him one-on-one. He was able to fend and slice through before that man saved the try. Just a staggered defensive line, got rid of Brent Kite, and Darren Lockyer opting to take the points from right in front.
And that, Peter, that's a perfect position where I'd like to see the referee just drop a yellow flag, allow play to go on to complete the set of six, because the Broncos had them shot on the outside. Justin Hodges was screaming for the ball. They had them open. Now the game stops as you have a penalty kick for goal. You can come back to this at the end of the set of six instead of taking away the advantage to the attacking side.
Two wonderful tackles we've seen early from Brett Stewart. Let's not forget them. One on Hodges, one on Maguire there. 6-0, about to become 8. There's Seymour's second kick of the day. 2 from 2. In fact, he's got all their points. Brett Seymour, sideline Tim Gilbert.
Well, it's vital Manly win this one. We all know that. They were calling it the Fortress for some time. 3 straight losses. If they lose to Brisbane this afternoon, it's going to be more like a sandcastle.
They've won 7 straight. Enjoying great times through the first half of this season. They come up against the team, the Broncos, today, that have been beaten only 4 times this year.
Well, the good thing for Manly is that they did so much great work early in the season. Now, for most other teams, 5 straight losses at this stage, you'd be out of reckoning. They were so good early in the year that they are still close enough if good enough. As Dane Carlaw, very strong start to the game. Tackled 15 out from his own line on the first.
Hodges and Hunt got the ball across that left side. Now Webke running straight at Menzies. He's got 11 on his back. He's starting as 5/8 today and going into today. 8th Manly on the ladder, 24 points. Helped last night by the defeat of the Bulldogs, keeps them down the table. Not helped by the win of the Sharks. And Brisbane with it 42 metres from their own line. Head-to-head here at Brookvale, it's 6 wins to Manly, just the 3 to Brisbane. And now last tackle for the Broncos, Maguire. And with it is Lockyer. They came up on him. It was Randall. He kicks for himself. Needs a bounce. Doesn't quite get it. And Stewart has fumbled. Brisbane have got the ball. Play on for Berrigan. 15 metres from the line. More pressure on the home team right here. Lockyer. Then for Hunt. Hunt not quite his biggest step. In fact, stepped into a little bit of trouble in the form of Randall. And also Tutt. Only 5 from the line, and they're asking some real questions. Thorne wriggling free, trying to play it. Back it comes for Seymour. Seymour's step, this time he's lost it, trying to pass, and Kite's on it for Manly.
There's a let-off for the home team. I've said it once and I'll say it again. You just let Darren Lockyer kick the football. You don't rush out one out against him, or he'll carve you up. If you make the decision for him, he'll gleefully accept. There's the first penalty for Manly this afternoon. Goes their way. Defender coming over the top, which you're not allowed to do. A fine touch around the 30-metre mark.
Yeah, he's been all aggression, Dane Carlaw. That time he hopped on the back of Menzies. So Manly yet to see any football down Brisbane's end. Here is King with a strong charge. And the Manly, the Seagulls chant is here at Brookvale. First time today, team down by 8. Kite. I don't know about the run up there. almost looked like he was hoping to lift the knee, but it was short of the defensive line. He was down by the time he got to them. Here's Stewart, back inside with Alberts. He was trying to find the top gear. Seymour was across there. And a dummy half goes Stevenson, running into Carroll. Now they've got themselves inside the Broncos 20. 15 out. Randall for Monahan. Monahan kicks. He's got it to the in goal. Berrigan's back there. Berrigan confronted by Williamson. Got away from him. And there's a whole army there of Manly players to get him second time round. 9 Sunday football and 8-0 to Brisbane. At Brookvale and the line dropout coming up for the Broncos. On Sunday football, this is the first scoring opportunity that Manly have had today. Seymour the first try, couple of goals as well. That's the 8 points, and Lockyer's dropout now. Kite with the job of running the ball back. Now he builds up and turns side on that time. Into the clutches of Webke and Maguire. 31 from the line. King is the second man to take the ball up. And good defence low from Stagg. Randall again. Skips out Williamson, finds Monahan on for Kennedy. Sharp passing, Stewart's got speed. He's found Alberts. Alberts is tackled well by Seymour. 2 metres from the line. Manly getting on a roll now. Monahan throws it back. Kennedy was flat-footed. Trying to link up with support now. Does that. Quick hands from Tutt. On the bounce for Menzies. Menzies with the ball. Slips over. 20 metres out. He keeps it alive. Randall does the same. Put down by Tutt. And a knock-on against Manly.
It was great backline play. A couple of play the balls earlier, but they couldn't take advantage of the break that they made. Look at this. Second man play to Monahan. Palms it back to Kennedy, who throws the second man play to Stewart. He's got them outnumbered on the left. Torrens gets through the gap, but can't come up with a try. And from there, they just couldn't get the right pass to the right player once the Brisbane defence was disorganised.
Brett Seymour might have scored 8 points, but he saved another 4, possibly 6 as well. Really nice work out there defensively too between Justin Hodges and Brett Seymour. Hodges had the confidence in the inside man to take the man carrying the football while he went to the outside support player.
In the meantime, the Broncos almost back to their own 40. Carroll running up and almost through the tackle of Kite and King. Now Maguire. He's made a good start to the game. Their number 1 hooker, Barry Berrigan, still struggling with that calf injury, a rather serious one. Here is Lockyer, 30 out, kicks for Berrigan, kicks for Bott. They both got checks on the way through. And Hicks is able to get there first.
Here again, Brandon.
Manly hang on. Up comes Terry Hill on the 20. This time Randall back in Williamson. He's back to the 30.
Jason King off, Mark Bryant taking the football up now, the first interchange for the home team.
8 metres short of halfway. Randall get to have a run at them. Here's Monahan. Monahan holding it out as if he was going to pass long. Carroll made the tackle. Last it is for Manly. Menzies back for Randall. He's the kicker this time. Randall goes straight down the centre. Getting across for it now is Carmichael Hunt. Had an enormous bounce on it, and about 100 of them. All the way over the dead ball line.
Yeah, just praising there the Broncos hookup, Casey Maguire. And I think the big improvement in the Broncos game this year has been Barry Berrigan out of that dummy half role. He's been doing more from that dummy half position than I've seen a Broncos hooker for a long time. So it's no fluke that Casey Maguire's trying to get out and run as much as he can, just like he did there. Take some pressure off his forwards.
Available Broncos, Minto and Sivanasiva on the sidelines with Berrigan. Now here's Tate. Again, if you haven't seen him before with his brace behind the neck, it's like he's got a travel cushion behind his head. He's been wearing it now for the last 6 or 7 weeks. That's a necessity. And battling a serious neck problem. Here's Lockyer's kick to the corner. This will pull up. Stewart across to it. And Stewart slips inside the 10-metre zone. And that made the job easy for Berrigan. Now Hill up for Hicks at the centre of a storm last week. Will we see a short kick-off later in the game from Manly perhaps? Randall and up with Bryant and Kennedy. Kennedy up to the 30. That time it was Seymour in the tackle, and they attacked that short side with Tutt trying to spin away there from Seymour. Also on the tackle, Thorne. They've got themselves back to within 5 metres of halfway now. Still trailing 8 points to 0. Monahan kicks. So that's outside the 40 and over the head of Carmichael Hunt. The ground over that side of the field seems awfully hard. That time Carmichael Hunt had to make a play that right on the dead ball line, then puts the step and is right over the sideline. They're up on their feet here at Brookvale.
He had an opportunity to head closer infield when he was forced to bring the football back into play. It's a great kick. It looked like it might have had the same fate as the Chad Randa one earlier, but it stopped up. It's perfect. And he goes towards the sideline. I know he's gone that way so he could get the big step going, but he did put himself perilously close and has paid the penalty.
He stepped right into trouble that time, didn't he? They saw it coming. Big leap, big step. Inside defence waiting. And hurled him out over the sideline. Great opportunity here for Manly to get their crowd into the game.
Oh, the crowd has revved up all right. Stewart, dummy to Menzies. Stewart across field and cut down in the tackle of Darren Lockyer. 15 from the line. Here is Hicks. Out of dummy half, brings it back to centre field. This time running into Parker and Carroll. And they dump him back another 3 or 4 metres. Randall, left side with Mark Bryant. Running that time straight at Seymour. They said he would be one of the players they would target today. That's what they've done. Webke came out of the last tackle a little awkwardly. Here's Stewart turning and passing. Williamson wide out for Hicks. Great pickup. Hicks is 5 metres out from the line. Hicks tries to stretch out. I reckon he's got there, Chris Hicks. Simpkins has a close look with a microscope and says he likes it. And that's the most important thing. It's 8-4 after 20.
Yeah, Chris Hicks was the centre of that controversy last week. In fact, he scored the try that he converted. And now he's got the first this afternoon. And look, most potent down the left side. And this was where they got the football back. Great work there, Nathan Tutt leading the way, had some support. I think Sean Berrigan will just miss a one-on-one tackle here as they come wide. Second man play. Stewart out to Williamson. He comes back inside Leon Bott. There's the missed tackle there. Sean Berrigan, and too much for Carmichael Hunt to do.
He had plenty to do there, Chris Hicks. It wasn't the most fluid of backline plays. Williamson saw that he had space on the outside. Good pass from the back rower. Picked up low. He's got to head back in field. He finds the weaker shoulder of Sean Berrigan, which is the inside one. Then around the fullback off balance. And despite the attention of plenty of Broncos defenders, just able to force the ball down on the line. And as I say, that will bring the Manly contingent, the Manly fans into the game. Down 8-0, all of a sudden they're on the scoreboard and the home crowd rises. That's what you need.
Luke Williamson is their kicker. Only landed 1 from 4 last week. He's normally a pretty sweet striker of the ball. He's very slow, very deliberate with his action, Peter.
He's a very straight kicker of the ball. It doesn't, not as though it swings right, left or left, right. It seems to leave the boot, and wherever it heads immediately, that's where it keeps going.
Tough one for the touchies looking into the sun. There's the first one. Straight as they come. What a career. We'd love a try from the Beaver today. Oh, Coyter's hit hard. He is nailed in the first tackle from the kickoff. Parker and Webke. And now Tuck, left side with Alberts. Alberts gets in a wrestle there with Tate. He's an aggressive customer, this Manly centre. And now Bryant back in field, 25 metres out from the line. Quick play the ball for Randall, able to run out of that mark and make 10 metres. Carroll went in low, Maguire over the top. Kick here from inside the 40 from Monahan. Fielded on the full by Carmichael Hunt. Now's the step going to come out this time? No, run straight at them. Tim Gilbert sideline.
Just want to give a rap to Chris Hicks, of course. He was languishing in the lower grades with Penrith before he came to Manly, and he loves the peninsula. He's been one of the form wingers this year.
Their player of the year last season here at Manly. Here is Berrigan on a step and a swerve and the run now, 30 metres from the line.
I love Sean Berrigan going looking for the ball in there. He's very dangerous.
Dummy half is Maguire to the right-hand side. Short ball there from Lockyer. Carroll found his man. Kennedy around the legs. Kennedy up to 9 tackles now for Manly. Hodges is allowed to come a long way and then link up with Parker. Last tackle here for Brisbane. And it is Seymour on that right side. Lockyer on his outside. Seymour kicks. Getting through as Tate flies high and well diffused by Stevenson. That'll give him enormous confidence there, Paul Stevenson, against some big names today out on that left side for Manly.
Normally Brisbane would have more chases and bigger chases, but Justin Hodges had brought the football back centre field. It was only Brent Tate who went through. Stagg and company make the tackle, 30 out from the opposition line.
Randall again. Bryant's worked hard since coming on. Menzies with the ball and looking to offload. Seymour went very low in the tackle. Randall, 15 inside their own half. And coming to the left side with Bryant again. And rolls 3 or 4 metres. Randall goes a little scurry down that short side. Brings them back infield for Alberts. Carroll and Parker want him a little closer to the sideline. Crowd thought they'd caught a few Broncos defenders offside on that blindside play. Monahan's kick on the last, on the bounce. The leaping Leon Bott, here he goes. One of the finds of the season, and tackled by Monahan. 12 metres out from their own line. And they will come out of trouble with Tate. There's Bott, only missed the one game this year. And now for Corey Parker.
And 2 heavy hitters into the action. Kylie Luluwai is out there now for Manly, and Neville Costigan about to take the field. Watch the defensive effort of those 2 guys.
Seymour onto Lockyer. Beautiful passing from Brisbane. Berrigan got inside Hill. Cover coming across was Williamson. Stagg infield. Costigan gets a touch straight away, and he's ironed out there in that tackle. That was Costigan-like from Mark Bryant. Last tackle this time for Brisbane. Lockyer beautiful in pulling the ball in, then steady, having beaten Bryant, and puts the kick in. And what do you know, the kick's perfectly weighted as well. To the in goal, back comes Stewart. Just a little touch of class there from Darren Lockyer. Wetke back to the bench for Brisbane. The dummy half goes Stevenson for Manly. 2-point game here at 8-6. Brisbane lead 8-0. 25 minutes gone. On Sunday football, here is Kennedy. And Kennedy 7 short of halfway. Seymour there with Hodges that time. Monahan on with Luluwai. And Luluwai to halfway. To ground by Parker. And Dunley in a dummy half, and Harris gets a run. So all the build-up that Harris would be playing 5'8". Went by the by once they ran on today. Last tackle here with Manly. Monahan 35 out. Is kicked on the bounce, and Carmichael Hunt's with it. There's a line of 5 chasers there. And he goes to ground in the Williamson tackle. They are 8 metres from their line. Leon Bott. Berrigan going to bring it out of trouble. And again, Williamson finishing off the defence that was started by Shane Dunley. And now they're going to push the ball to the right-hand side. Corey Parker was very good last week against Canberra coming off the bench. Made 37 tackles. Another strong charge from Costigan, and again he's hammered by Luluwai and Alberts. He resented the tackle. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just quality. Hodges is held. Great defensive set from Manly. Last tackle. The kick from dummy half is from Maguire inside the 40 as well. And Stevenson goes back for it for Manly. 15 out from his own line.
Well, not only a great set of 6 in defence, an important one. They've sent the message to the Broncos that they're not going to be intimidated, nor are they going to be blasted out of the park. The Broncos are very physical in the early part of the game, look to be going the better, but Manly have struck back physically. That's important.
Dunley with a run. And again the crowd, the home crowd, the Manly fans, letting Simpkins know they're unhappy with a 10. They reckon the Broncos are taking off early. Here's Hill. Strong run to get just inside the Broncos territory. He's got them back 10 and only just. As Harris comes infield, Monahan dumps it inside there for Luluwai, and Luluwai cuts it forward with Parker in attendance. Costigan took his legs. Last tackle Manly, Monahan, he's kicked it, the banana kick, chasing through his Menzies. Carmichael Hunt's across to it, very unfriendly bounce. And then tackled by Dunley and Monahan.
It was a clever kick. Deliberately back that way. Leon Bott hadn't come across too far. And Carmichael Hunt, after getting some very poor bounces, did well to clean that up. It wasn't an easy one.
Manly playing the game a little faster now, a little more intensity about their effort. Leon Bott from dummy half. No forwards within QE for Brisbane. 15 metres inside their own half. And now Berrigan, and again, is there someone to run the ball? Berrigan has to take the run for 6 or 7. And that is the last tackle. And they haven't offered a great deal in this set again, Brisbane. Well handled there by Seymour. On for Lockyer. They're going to offer something here, though. Here's Hodges. Straight into the arms there of Alberts. Alberts trying to hold him up. Hodges keeps it alive. Seymour's back there and rushes a kick and does well. Trapped by Stewart. That's a skill as well. Back comes Brett Stewart for Manly. And tackled front on by Darren Smith. Carroll to the bench for Brisbane.
And the last 3 kicks on the last tackle for Brisbane, they've come up in their own half. Manly now getting the better field position. Really worked their way into this game well, despite trailing by 2.
Alberts bumped away from Costigan. He was able to step through the Seymour tackle. He did that, none of it at high speed, but still able to beat 2. They're doing well, the Manly team. With it is Monahan, 40 out from the line, up to the line and taken down by Parker. Quick play the ball though, and Dunley's off. Dunley running across field, can't stand an offload. Stagg got him off his feet, finished off by Lockyer. Last tackle this time for Manly. Hill, infield, there for Monahan. And Monahan goes high to the wing of Tate. Tate underneath it. Tate does well. 5 out from his own line. Then got away from Alberts. He's going to run close to the touchline here. And Stevenson makes the tackle. And Brisbane on their 20. Carmichael Hunt. We're just not seeing too many forward hit-ups here from Brisbane. 25 metres out from their own line. 2-point advantage. Casey Maguire. Thorne gets in the thick of it. And the ground of the Harris tackle. Side him was Dunley. And Harris has got his left arm trapped underneath Brad Thorne. There's 112 kilos there on top of him. Lockyer back inside. And Parker held up by Dunley, well read by the Manly defence. Almost back to halfway. And Maguire on for Hodges. Hodges right foot step. Alberts has done well. He's done very well in the game. Ball was stripped late in the count. It would have been tackle 5. We'll take a break at 9 Sunday footy. Broncos leading by 2. 30 minutes gone. We're coming to you from Brookvale today. Sunday round 22. And before the break, the penalty. Ball appeared to be just released by Hodges. Kennedy there. Monahan. Simpkins pinged Manly.
It was a painful one. Late in the tackle count. Brings the Broncos right down into the zone they like to play. They've done well here, Manly. They don't want to concede points now.
Maguire in for Parker. Looked up at Seymour, then took them on. Kennedy there to make the tackle for Manly. 10 metres out from the line. Brisbane, they work forward with Maguire. Picks out his man. Carmichael Hunt just goes straight over. He had a free ticket to the movies. He just went straight through and takes his seat in goal for a 4-pointer, 12-6.
And they'd really struggled to get down to this end of the field in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Manly's defence had done very well against them. They went to the right-hand side, the opposite side to where Darren Lockyer was stationed. Nice second-man play there. All of a sudden, Ashley Alberts has got Darren Smith and Carmichael Hunt coming at him. They hadn't come off their line too far because of the numbers coming at them. Very easy, well executed. And as Gus pointed out, coming at a very bad time for Manly, who had really done well, are actually starting to get a little bit of ascendancy.
But when you're defending on your line like that, Peter, we've said this a number of times this year, the centres and wingers have got to back themselves to come off their line and make decisions. Carmichael Hunt got that ball full of running. Look at the size of that kid. Like, he's not a small kid. You're not going to stand on your goal line and defend to him. You've got to come to him. So he hasn't got momentum. He hasn't got time to step. Ashley Alberts stood on his line, waited for the play to unfold, and then tried to make a lunge at him. You can't do it back on your own goal line. You've got to come forward. You've got to back yourself.
Well, it was 8-6, now it's 12-6, and it could be 14-6 in a moment, but you would have said Manly was on top. Seymour's conversion, successful again. He's 3 from 3 today. Tim Gilbert sideline.
Yeah, he certainly arrived, Carmichael Hunt. He said that last year he felt a little bit uneasy in first grade, but look at him now, so confident, so strong, straight under the post, doing great things just like his good mate Benji Marshall is with the Tigers.
15 tries last year and now 7 this season for Carmichael Hunt. And one of many fullbacks that are available for Queensland when State of Origin rolls around. There's Slater, there's Wesser, there's Bowen, there's Schifofsky, there's Carmichael Hunt. It's an elite stable. Back comes Costigan for the Broncos. Kennedy there with Bryant to make the tackle, 15 out from the line. But 8 points is the margin to Brisbane. 7 minutes out from half-time. Played by Thorne. And with Corey Parker. Certainly getting the numbers up with hit-ups. Bryant in defence. Casey Maguire for Thorne. Their alternate dummy half for Brisbane is Berrick Barnes. He's on the bench today. Maguire, another run here for Corey Parker. Over the top was Harris, and that was enough to hold him up. Last tackle for Brisbane. Kicking from 45 metres out, Lockyer. Sweet off the left boot, this one a little too strong though. And this will be Manly walking back to the 20. 2 tries to 1 in this first half. It was all Brisbane very early. They capitalised on a drop ball in the very first set of 6 from Manly. And now away down the left goes Albert's, picked up there by Costigan, and Hodges there. They made a good decision though not to totally upend him. They've conceded a penalty. Costigan, who's had a couple of dangerous throw charges this year. Hodges has had one recently. They have learnt from previous misdemeanors.
So what was the penalty for?
I'm trying to work it out. There's no penalty there at all.
He either blows it 2 seconds earlier when the tackle was being made, because there was plenty of momentum towards the sideline and they'd done nothing wrong.
Dunley throws it flat on the bounce. Terry Hill bumped away from a teammate. He got ankle tapped as he angled back in field, 35 metres from the line. Dunley, Monahan, on for Bryant. Runs across, links up here with Stewart. Stewart having to step back, but back into trouble, Smith and Costigan. That is tackle number 3. And they keep coming left with Bryant, and that's a lovely low tackle. They keep running at Seymour, and he's repelled everything so far.
Hasn't missed a tackle, has made a try saver. He's going fine.
Kennedy, nice step round the corner for Menzies. Away doesn't find Hill. Williamson can't handle, and Simpkins has got a knock on. Good skill from Ben Kennedy.
And they've deliberately moved Ben Kennedy across to the right-hand side today. He's played left most of the season, both in attack and defence. You can see him out here on the right-hand side. And look at Beaver Menzies right on his inside shoulder. That's Kennedy's favourite play. Right foot step, man on man, ball around the corner. Menzies lurking on the inside. It's a nice combination on the other side of the field. Normally over the other side, but today on the right, directing their traffic at Lockyer.
Just on Brett Seymour, 15 tackles, second in the count for Brisbane, and they keep on running at him. Bott with it.
Yeah, he's looked very vulnerable, hasn't he? Oh, he's not having a problem out there as Shane Webke, who had an interchange, is now...
There goes Tate. Tate's over the 40. Stewart can match him for speed. Tate needs support. 30 metres out from the line. The defence played it cool at the back. They need to do more of the same right now. Lockyer had to reach out in front. Kept it alive for Smith. There's plenty of Broncos jumpers there. Kept alive and now tackled as Hodges. 5 from the line. Massive overlap left. And that's very close to sin bin right there.
Drop a yellow rag. The Broncos are going to play on.
Tackled as Darren Smith. 1 metre from the line. Brisbane in possession. Still overlap left. Lockyer holds it up for Hunt. Then it goes over the sideline. Went behind Berrigan. Went behind Leon Bott. And the crowd here at Brookie love it.
Well, if you'd have let play go on instead of giving the penalty, here's Tate. Tate's going to get himself into the backfield. He's tackled by the fullback. From the ensuing play, the Broncos do a little bit of hot potato. Get tackled underneath the post, and the referee wants to blow a penalty. They had them shot to bits. Eventually they come left. Berrigan puts a little bit of a dummy catch on this one, and he goes straight past Bott's left shoulder. Had the referee allowed the play to go on 2 tackles earlier, I think the Broncos score for sure.
They had gone, weren't they? In fact, when the play after the bust came to an end, they had 4 unmarked on the left-hand side here. They just couldn't get it. Ben Kennedy now straightens up. This is a big couple of minutes for both teams here. Manly, 14-6, well and truly in the game. They can improve on that. It would be a huge thing to take in the second half, but they can't concede anything late now.
We played the previous ball. Bryant has toiled hard, 7 hit-ups, 11 tackles. And Manly outside their 30. Here is Kennedy. Kennedy taken low, still offloaded. Great hands there by Stevenson. Right around the ankles. Last tackle for Manly. And a chance to kick from inside their 40. Monahan will do that. Under a bit of pressure though. Got it away. It was Harris by Parker who rushed through. Leon Bott with the ball.
He doesn't throw many passes, Shane Webke, but I've got to say the percentage of ones that lead to something when he does decide to is very, very high. He's very selective. And that was a great ball he threw to Brent Tate. The fact he doesn't pass often is probably in his favour. Good hit, Menzies on Stagg.
Menzies on Stagg. Plenty of years between them as Tate offloads for Lockyer. Lockyer straight up the centre back for Stagg. He's got support, it's Maguire. And Stewart comes up with another good decision, making the tackle. He was hurt in it too. Now with Carmichael Hunt, 15 metres from the line, out for Hodges. Albert's across there. He's thrown it over the sideline. Stevenson looked up like, I'm innocent. He may still have been pinged as being the last man to touch the ball.
Well, it was a 2-on-1 strip there. There's no doubt about it. I don't think Hodges passed that ball. It was stripped away from him. But the Manly players are saying, ring the bell, get us into the dressing rooms. We've had enough for this half. They've got to hold on to possession. Their last set of 6 with the ball was very, very tired. You could just tell defensively they weren't going to aim up. They don't want to give the ball to the Broncos right now.
Well, they ended up with a scrum feed. Stewart still not 100%. Ball's coming his way. Terry Hill with it. And Terry Hill taken to ground by Stagg. Great support play by Stagg on that previous rush after he'd offloaded. Backed up. Now Manly, Dunley, Monahan out for Kennedy. Kennedy centre field, one-handed offload. Now with Sam Harris, he's got a bit of ball skill as well. Williamson stumbles, still alive for Manly, comes back in field. Luke Williamson, he's up and over the 30-metre line. Standing his ground at fullback was Tate. He makes the tackle. Manly looking for points, coming up to half-time. Got a sin bin this time, possibly. Well, I suppose he's consistent. They both stay on the field.
Well, Neville Koskin did well there. He was running back on side and looked as though he didn't deliberately get involved in the play. 14-6, this would take them, if it's successful, to within that converted try. Carmichael Hunter's hurt himself. That's why we saw Tate at fullback. And Luke Williamson, like, he's on the ground, looks up, then 40 metres away, the tackle is made. Now from the play the ball, watch Costigan come back, the number 17. There he is, just running back next to the play the ball. I'm not involved. He's run into me, sir. It's not my fault.
So Williamson deciding to go for goal. 18 metres out, up to half-time. And this to reduce the margin to 6. And they are right in the ball game, Manly, against the competition leaders. There's no question of that. They've matched them for much of this first half. So Williamson with a shot. Broncos beaten by only 3 clubs this year, 4 losses in all. Twice by the Warriors, by the Bulldogs and the Storm. And Williamson's second kick of the day. He's slow, he's deliberate, and he's 2 from 2 this afternoon. That completes the first 40 minutes. There's the sense that this is going to go right down to the 80th minute today. Manly fans, young and old, supporting their team. They're down by 6. We will break on 9 Sunday football. Good reception for the Manly team at half-time. Broncos 14, Manly 8. Second half, other side of this break. Top of the table, Broncos return. Coming down to Brookvale today, 34 points, top of the ladder. Parramatta outright second after their win last night over the Warriors. With this team riding high, and the biggest stat of all, when they have finished minor premiers. In fact, 4 occasions in the club's history, they've gone on to win the title in each of those 4 years.
Trying to get down and dirty.
And to host a final first week up at Suncorp, where the crowds have been, well, the best in the league this year. Great advantage for them. Only beaten once at home this year. Led 8-0 early here. Manly fight back. In fact, Manly was probably going better than the Broncos at 8-6. Before that man, Carmichael Hunt, was able to get over the line. Into the break with a bit of a shoulder injury, Carmichael Hunt. Have to start the second half. But they're such an impressive outfit. They've got depth. They've come through the origin period this year. And over to the Manly Sea Eagles. Could drop to 9th with defeat today. That's not what they're thinking about right now, though. They've provided us with some good comebacks this year. Their best was mid-season against the Panthers, where they came back from 20 points down. The task is nowhere near as big today, but it is against the competition leaders. Mark Bryant, good work rate first half off the bench. Williamson 2 from 2 off the boot in that first 40 minutes. And Manly on 24 competition points. Seems to have been the magic number for a number of weeks for many teams. They've been stuck on 24. Teams like Melbourne and Cronulla, Manly. Second half underway here at Brookvale. And Broncos left to right. And Webke will have the first carry back of the half. Running headlong there into Brent Kite. And doesn't quite get back to the 20-metre line. Followed up by Corey Parker. He runs and gets away from Kennedy. And a ground on the Dunley tackle. Almost back to the 30. Broncos in possession. Darren Smith. And Darren Smith half through there. He will play his 100th game next week for the Broncos. Be a big occasion. Maguire away for Costigan. Broncos still with one fresh troop on the bench. That's Berrick Barnes. That's a forward ball there from Maguire. Man had to dive forward to catch it. Only a couple who didn't think it was forward. That was the touch judge and the ref, I think. Here's Lockyer's kick. High one here for Stewart. He's been good all afternoon, Brett Stewart. Good defensively, good under the high ball. And tackled by Smith. Manly get their first possession of the half. And Stevenson crunch there, 10 out from his line by Webke. And a dummy half this time, Alberts. Webke from marker makes the tackle, driving through. Comes Parker. Now they're only 5 metres out from their own line. And trying to work it away with Bryant. Able to get up and over the 10. Dunley away for Kite. They've been vocal, the crowd. They've had no influence, though, on referee Simpkins. And Monahan kicks on the last from inside the 30. High one here for Tate. Tate with a turn and now gets it back going forward. And was taken over the top by Kennedy. 5 short of halfway. Carmichael Hunt up to halfway. Just the little version of the right step there. Held by Bryant and Alberts. 5 inside the Manly half. Costigan straightens up that time. Carries inside the 40. Monahan there with Dunley. Maguire left and switch of play by Seymour. Fell into the lap there of Smith, kept alive for Hodges. Able to run. He was in the process of slicing through the defence, almost bisecting the two defenders. Tate for Seymour. His options were cut out to the left, so he came back infield. Tate back with the ball. He's very busy, Brent Tate. And here is Hodges. Tate's playing what would be described in the AFL as a rover's role. Smith. Seymour. Last tackle. Kick coming up by Kite. And Kite rolls up like he's in an action movie. Back to his feet. Tackle on the 10-metre line. Manly with Menzies. Menzies almost back to the 20. Tim Gilbert sideline.
Yeah, Andrew, neither coach happy with discipline at half-time. And in the Manly dressing room, Des Hasler distressed ball control. He said, when you got it, hang on to it. Meanwhile, Carmichael Hunt had a problem shoulder, had it worked on. He's out there, but he is a bit uncomfortable.
Terry Hill with the ball for Manly, following on a good run from Sam Harris. Almost got them back to halfway now. Dunley roll forward with Bryant. And then for Monahan, Steadings throws long. Stewart is a real flyer of our game. He's 35 metres away from the Brisbane line. This is the last tackle. Alberts infield for Monahan. Time to steady before that kick. And a bounce that came back towards Carmichael Hunt. And Carmichael Hunt tackled 10 from the Brisbane line.
They've been very keen to play to their left-hand side, the Sea Eagles, all day, looking to target Hodges, the right-hand centre for the Broncos. But they're running sideways with the ball, and there's plenty of support from the inside from the Broncos to cover it up. Like to see some hard straight runners or maybe some inside runners there, just to give it a little bit of variety.
Casey Maguire, Costigan, dummy and then running at Kite and Kennedy. Able to throw him to ground. Kennedy's stats today, 13 tackles and half a dozen hit-ups. Lockyer, his ball, he threw it more or less up in the air. He's regathered his own pass. Simpkins says knock forward.
Even the great ones can get caught in two minds. He had good support on the inside and outside. He was looking for a short pass on the outside and got himself confused between the two. He wasn't quite sure whether to turn it inside to Smith or hold it up for Hodges. Hodges started to go wide, realised he wasn't an option, and just threw it straight up in the air. A little bit frustrated, but even the great ones can have a bad one.
Brisbane gritty as always, but Manly certainly in this. Menzies offloading. And Hill there with a fend. Trying to get away from Berrigan, unable to do so. Finished off by Stagg. Manly on tackle 1. 45 metres out from the Broncos goal line. Haven't been in front at any stage of this match. Cartwheel there was Hicks over Costigan and Stagg. Infield for Harris and selects Monahan. Then for Menzies over that left side. Menzies holds onto the ball. Menzies is 15 out. The Beaver now 5 from the line. Covered up by Webke. They had at least 3 on 1 on the left. Harris at first receiver. Monahan kept alive. Alberts is 5 from the line. The dummy and over. Here comes the comeback. Manly with Alberts, the try scorer. And it is 14 points to 12.
Well, they've definitely targeted the left-hand side, and they've done it well. That time, they made the bust originally with Sam Harris throwing a good ball. Steve Menzies, look at the support players on the far side, just again couldn't get the ball to them, but they stayed there, and Brisbane never recovered. And in the end, as we freeze it there, just watch this man, Brent Tate. He's forced to come a long way in as play continues. And you'll see that it's simple. Ashley Alberts could have found his man who you think would have scored in the corner through the dummy instead. Everybody realised that outside they needed to get to the winger, but nobody stayed with the man carrying the football. And Alberts did very well to fool 3 defenders.
That's what I just said. They've been coming left all day, but everyone's been running sideways. That time, Steve Menzies ran straight. He made the initial bust. Defence came up, and he hit a short hole, got into the backfield. Then when they had it ready again, Ben Kennedy ran a great line. He just ran hard and straight. That's what made Tate wait. He'd seen that Menzies had gone through on a short ball, so he waited to see if Kennedy had got it. Once they got the ball past Kennedy, Alberts had a free run to the line. That's what I'm saying. When you spread the ball to the left like that and you want to keep doing it, put a bit of variety into your game. Some hard straight runners, some inside supports, and get the defence in 2 minds. On both those spreads, the Broncos had players to look at and came up with the wrong option. Very different to the way they've attacked it early in the game. Good play from Manly.
And there's a great shot of the target confronting Luke Williamson to put this ball game back to 14 apiece. Looks fairly skinny, but he hasn't had any trouble.
7 in from touch, 7 in from touch, successful. Went right over the dot here on the crossbar. 14 all, 9 Sunday football from Brookvale. 47 minutes gone, and it is game on. 14 all. 2 tries apiece, 3 goals apiece. And Manly, 8th against the competition leaders. And the crowd is lively. They're back after buying their pies and their hot dogs at half-time, and they're going down well. Not to say they don't at other times, but there is Bryant tackled outside the 20. Kennedy running on a swerve away from Webke, but straight into Maguire. Nunley to the right with Bryant. Yet another touch, another carry, taken low on the tackle of Costigan. They're 12 short of halfway. Dunley decides to run and does well. Makes 15 metres. Tackled on number 5, 45 from the Brisbane line. Kite with the ball. Monahan, his kick to the corner. It'll be covered up here by Carmichael Hunt. Takes it out in front. Monahan, the chaser, puts all his teammates on side. So they start the set inside their 20, Brisbane. But there's not a whole lot of enterprise coming from their attack at the moment. Sideline comment, Tim Gilbert.
Yes, well, they were uncharacteristically quiet in the first half, the crowd, but they certainly made a racket when Steve Menzies made that bust. They haven't won here since 1992, Brisbane, and Darren Lockyer did say during the week, it's one crowd that does intimidate them.
Costigan, he's outside the 40. He's a lot better than that. He carried Dunley with him for 5 or 6 metres. Now Casey Maguire running right up to the line and then passing for Seymour. Seymour is held by Kennedy this time, 5 and last. The tackle for Brisbane, Lockyer off the left boot. They didn't rush him that time. He kicks all the way to the goal line. Stewart with it for Manly, confronted there by Stagg. And is held on tackle 1. He settled down again for the play. Terry Hill with it, running at Lockyer. But off a short run and contained by Stagg. And now Harris offloading for Kite. Kite again runs at Lockyer. Fends away from him, gets outside the 20. Quick play the ball for Dunley. Dunley's going to go for another scurry. And this time to ground in the Webke tackle. He's got them back to within 15 of halfway. Good probing runs from Shane Dunley. Monahan Again, numbers on this left side with the winger Tate standing back deep. Menzies on the inside, kept alive nicely by Stewart, wrapping around as Monahan. Then inside for Alberts. And good tackle low there from Smith. 42 away, last tackle. Monahan with the ball. He kicks down the centre. He's got a bit of space there between Hutt and Bott. Bott's with the ball.
It's a control set there from Manly, and it's a great test for them this afternoon, not just physically, but how tough they are mentally. Brisbane are past masters at winning tight, close matches, finals-type matches. Man, they've got to make sure they go with them. And also amazing how often in these kind of games, Brisbane can come up with a try when they don't look to be going that well, just through some individual brilliance or something simple. Manly have got to make sure that they just stay tight, stay composed.
Corey Parker with it for Brisbane. And attracts the attention there of Bryant and Menzies. 6 short of halfway. 9 Sunday football. Here goes Webke. Running straight at Kite and able to offload through the hands of Maguire on for Seymour. Seymour got away from one. On a roll with Carlaw. Carlaw's inside the 30. He was spun around. He could see flashes of white going past him. Just couldn't get the ball to them. Last tackle, Smith. One-handed carry over the top. Kennedy's back there. Kennedy's with it for Manly. He saves the day, and now Stevenson. Seagulls on their own goal line. Menzies, crowd boo again.
But he's everywhere, Ben Kennedy. He's off the field now after that try-saving effort. Just wonder whether Darren Smith might have scored himself.
Menzies down for the Seagulls at the moment. Tended to by the trainer. That's 12 metres out from the line where Steve Menzies is. Bryant offload. Dunley. Got away from Carlaw and has to step the man on the ground, Bryant. And that made him a target for Stagg. Lockyer gets up, holding the right side of his head. Kick from the 20-metre line. There's Hunt there at the back. He's going to have a bit of a run-up here before he gets to the defence, but he decides to dump it off for Tate. And Tate with a ball, picked up by Tutt and dumped by Nathan Tutt. Manly crowd, they like that. They love it. Here's Hodges. He runs this time at Dunley. On halfway, Brisbane with the ball. Berrick Barnes is out there. Berrick Barnes for Webke. More often than not today, he's running at Brent Kite. Kite there again with Bryant to make the tackle. Barnes for Seymour. Back inside with Parker now. And Parker is 32 metres from the Manly goal line. Big Broncos feature on the Thursday night footy show this week, 9:30. Vince Sereni along as well. Big footy fan too, Vince, who'll like what he's seeing in this Telstra Premiership. They've lost the ball. It was going to be a last tackle play and lost in playing it.
And the crowd love it. And a couple of key interchanges just made. Both Ben Kennedy and Shane Webke have left the field. They'll have a short rest and come back for the last probably 15 minutes of this game. Jason King coming to the sideline. He's about to come into the action.
Scrum 15 metres out from the line. Time off at the moment. There's a water bottle just at the back of the scrum. Well, that's a new one. So Manly are with it. And Hicks, one of their try scorers today, scored the first. Plays it on the 20. Stevenson taken sideways. Good force in the tackle of Thorne. They're still down in their danger zone at the moment. This has been a tireless performance from Mark Bryant. Oh, gee, he's worked hard this afternoon coming off the bench. He's gone for a rest now with King coming on. Another run for Chris Hicks. 40 metres out from their own line, but well done. Mark Bryant, a product of Kidamunda. Monahan with a ball. A floating pass, skipped out 3 with it. They're not able to promote anything on the outside. Berrigan got up there. Last tackle, Manly. Monahan, 45 out from his own line, kicking back to the wing of Brent Tate. Leading the charge is Nathan Tutt. And Alberts, fend on Alberts, good one from Tate, then got away from him the second time. 25 out from their own line. Absorbing struggle at the moment with Hodges.
Yeah, 26 minutes to go in this game, and this game will be decided by just how much desire there is in the Broncos side. They lead the minor premiership quite comfortably. Whether this 2 points has as much value as it does for Manly, because at the moment the game is going with enthusiasm. The game is going with Manly because the 2 points really does mean more to them. The Broncos have got to snap out of their lethargy if they want to win.
Dunley wasn't too happy with Hodges. Seymour goes straight through. Lockyer's on the inside. Knocked down off the feet of Lockyer now. Menzies is back there for Manly. He claims Sea Eagles, 14 all.
Steve Menzies. Steve Menzies, the protector. I don't know how many times over the years you've seen the headgear with the number 11 go racing back to defuse a situation. A back rower with an iron-like constitution can run like a three-quarter. There he goes, Seymour. Menzies will not give up on the chase. He points who to take. The ball's up for grabs, 50-50 ball. In goes the headgear, comes up with it for Manly. Big play.
Big play in the context of this match. At 14 all, Harris for Kite. Kite on the 40, cut in half there by Carroll. A Manly jet again, ball is lost, disputed possession. Simpkins says knock on Manly. Ball lost, having called held.
We've just seen a big play from Steve Menzies. We've seen a big call now from Paul Simpkins. Brent Kite believing that Tony Carroll played at the football. There's his hand on it. There's a little push. He did well not to blow up more than that, Brent Kite.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's what football is all about.
You are kidding me.
How
is that is what it's all about?
Mate, when you can pull one like that at this time of the game, it's an absolute gem. I love that. I love it when you can fool the referee and the linesman.
You endorse cheating. 40 metres out from the line.
I certainly do.
Berwick Barnes with the ball, taken to ground by King. 9 Sunday football. Gus is causing controversy. Here's Thorne, drops the hip, and they do very well to hang on. Nathan Tutt, Barnes out of dummy half. Barnes is 15 metres out. Taken there by Menzies, the number 11 with the headgear. And Broncos 10 from the line. Seymour back in, and this is Carroll. Only 5 metres from the line. 24 minutes remaining, 14 all. Brisbane, big opportunity here. Seymour on the last, was going to kick outside, comes back infield. Lockyer with it. Lockyer's lost the ball. Into the hands of Parker. Simpkins says knock on, that'll be a changeover.
Can't understand Brett Seymour getting in the way of Darren Lockyer there for that fifth tackle option. Not saying that he can't kick, but Lockyer is deadly with that left boot at getting tries and restarts. Seymour ended up with it, forced to run, came up with a poor end of the set of 6.
Alberts ran into Thorne and Carlaw. It's a handy double. Here's King. Almost caught more of the same there. 25 metres from their own line, Manly. Dummy half goes Chris Hicks this time. Still 14 all. It was 14-8 at half time. Manly the only try of the second half. Lulawai right over the advantage line. Bashes it down and gets inside the Brisbane half.
The pass was 1.5 metres forward at dummy half. Linesman have gone to sleep.
Monahan kicking on the last. And fielded there by Tate. And Tate back with it for the Broncos. And held there by Lulawai. The beneficiary of a forward ball. Carmichael Hunt, his run away from one and wriggles his way from a second. Tutt able to hang on for Manly, he needed to do so. Berwick Barnes, a hop and a skip and a jump out of dummy half for 10 metres. On halfway. 4 changes, interchanges remaining for Manly. Here is Thorne. He backs into the tackle of Nathan Tutt. Only his 4th game in first grade this year, Nathan Tutt. He's done well today. Barnes away with Parker. Parker's 30 metres from the Manly line. 2 in the tackle. It's King locking up the ball. Finished off by Harris. Last play now for the Broncos. A long way out. Lockyer, he kicked short. He's turned around Hicks. Stewart calls for it and gets it, and Stewart is tackled.
They're rocking the Broncos. They're rocking. It's going to come up to something individual because as a team, they're just not gelling at the moment. All the enthusiasm is with the home side.
Menzies with it over the 20.
One thing in Brisbane's favour at the moment, they're playing good field position. Dunley does well, takes it to the 30, but again, I think they're probably going to be kicking from a fair way out from the opponent's line. Monahan comes the shorter side.
And here's Harris, he decides the cutout ball, high one there for Stevenson. He was almost right on the touchline when he got it. Alberts and Monahan, infield it comes. Lulawai, it's all a little pedestrian across for Menzies. He asks a question of Lockyer, offloads for Hill. Tries that left arm fan, but well handled by Berrigan. Last play for Manly. And Monahan kicks from 45 metres out. He wants it for the corner. Carmichael Hunt is able to cut it off. He's 10 metres out from his own line. He runs away from Leon Bott. And he'll take the first tackle, 15 out from the Broncos goal line. Just the one score this second half. And Stagg is able to get back over the 30. Chandler's up again for the Manly team at Brookvale. They've averaged over 16,000 this year. and they've got their full voice back right now. Admiring the effort of their team. Here's Lockyer. Barnes. And then back all flat-footed with Berrigan on halfway.
They're in trouble. Someone's got to snap them out of this, the Broncos.
Derek Barnes for Lockyer. Tries it. Tried an inside ball to Parker. That was shut down. Last tackle. The defender was King. And it stunned Corey Parker. Last play, Lockyer. Let's just try the bomb, he says. The Broncos captain. Stewart's underneath it. Stewart doesn't get it. He was harassed there by Carroll. Knock on against Brisbane. Changeover. Manly possession. 9 Sunday football at 14 all. Hicks with it. Offending back over the 20. And does well to get back. Hodges made the tackle. And now Stevenson. And the 30 was Seymour and Barnes. And that may have been fought again for Luluwa. He's getting awfully close to overrunning the acting half.
It's official. The linesmen are on strike. They're on strike.
Big news. Here's King. King is put on his back. The tackle of Carlaw and Parker. His work rate up again. I highlighted his efforts from last week. Kennedy has taken back, kept it alive well for Dunley. Dunley scurries, but only back to where Kennedy had passed the ball.
Yeah, they're looking dangerous, man. They just can't get to the other end of the field. Again, they're forced to kick inside their own half. And Carmichael Hunt will bring it out 25, 30 metres from his own line. It's a good start again for them to be kicking in their opponent's half at the end of this set of 6. If they are mistake-free.
It is gripping stuff. They are playing it in the centre of the park, Manly. Broncos get down to put an attacking kick in. Manly defuse and then bring it back. 14 all. Into the final quarter we go. Now Lockyer. Assorti down that left side with Berrigan. He's been stripped of the ball by Hicks. We will break in 9 Sunday football at 14 all. 18 minutes remaining. Great finish coming up. 14 all. Brisbane a penalty before the break.
It's been like a chess game for the last 10 minutes. Chris Hicks plays at the football, deliberately rakes it out. But for the first time in a long time, consecutive sets for a team, and Dane Carlaw now takes it close to the 20. In fact, inside the 20 with a full set in reserve.
Derek Barnes, dummy half. Here goes Thorne. Thorne runs up at them. Harris waiting for him with King. Now they're 10 metres from the line. Barnes back to the left side. Lockyer wants to switch the play. Scored 2 tries last week. Unloaded there for Barnes. 10 out from the line for Seymour. And held low in the tackle of Harris. Dummy half for Stagg. Barnes this time first receiver. Carmichael Hunt wanted an inside ball. Then is held in the tackle. He got away from Stewart. Carroll was a little flat for him inside. Barnes dummy half. He kicks and is covered up. It was on tackle 4. Manly survived that charge from Brisbane. It was their skipper who saved the day that time. And here's Stewart with the ball for Manly. So Kennedy has saved them once, Stewart a few times today. Menzies has done a job for them. That time it was Monahan. A series of close calls. And Luluwa for Manly back outside the 20. Look at the clock, 17 minutes remaining. 14 all, just 1 try the second half. Harris, Menzies inside, Williamson. Got it away in the third tackle. They're away this time, Terry Hill. He's over the 40. Buck chases him down from behind. Play the ball on the tackle 5. 20 metres out. Monahan passes. Carroll getting back onside. Stewart with the ball, stumbles, then gets to his feet. Kept alive for Menzies. Menzies on for Monahan. Monahan a dummy. Pass Lockyer. Tries to keep it alive and now held. It is a changeover 9 metres out.
Well, that last tackle went so long, he forgot it was the 5th tackle. There were that many passes and a real opportunity if they could just link up with the right player. The Broncos are out on their feet. They are bunched behind the play of the ball here. The backs are getting into dummy half. They're going to get a penalty, can you believe it?
Crowd appeals, Stevenson appeals, he appealed to the referee, he appealed to the touch judge.
Well, he's lost that cold. He's lost it cold. That's not a strip at all. The linesman picked a fine time to come off strike.
Harsh call against Manly. Brisbane will ride their luck. 14 all, 16 remaining. Here goes Carlaw. And Carlaw is hit by King and by Luluwa. That's a nice double. Here's Parker. Parker trying to bounce away from Harris, does well again. Stagg on the inside for Berrigan. Berrigan to halfway, held there by Randall. And also Kennedy. Carlaw to the bench. Webke's back out there.
Yeah, Webke's needed out there. They need someone to be hitting it up straight, getting them back on track. They're making two interchange changes. The hooker, Casey Maguire, will come out as well. I think it should help their attacking game as Carroll turns, finds Carmichael Hunt.
It's a little slicker from Brisbane. Hodges over the top. Put down by Tate. Knock on against Brisbane. 25 metres out from the Manly goal line.
Well, he tried the Mark Gasnier here, Justin Hodges. Reached over the top with a big long right arm, tried to get it around the corner. Came off the Manly player. And now knocked on by Tate. Correct decision. Yeah, sorry, mate. Probably a little bit adventurous. But that's what I say. Would he try those sort of things in a semi-final where it was really sudden death stuff? It just makes me wonder how much they put on these 2 points this afternoon, the Broncos, because Manly are desperate for them, and they've really got the spirit at the moment.
It's been 14-all for a long time, and there's 15 remaining to get a crack at field goal next time round. Here is Harris, held up by Stagg, still able to offload. He's done that a few times this second half. Stewart with the ball. They were the standings going into today. Broncos top of the table.
I just think there's a try out there somewhere. I think one of these tries, sides have still got a try in them. Maybe if they get 6 in front, then the field goal becomes. And of course, the closer full-time gets, the more important one becomes as Menzies back inside, taken by Seymour. Still offloads to Monahan. Throws to
Hit by
himself.
Seymour. And now Albert's with it. And Albert's is going to go close to the touchline. Held in the tackle of Parker on halfway. Manly with Monahan. Lulawai bumps forward into Berrick Barnes, who did well to hang on. Last tackle Manly. Kicking from a long way out again, 45 metres away. Monahan over the head of Carmichael Hunt. He'll wish this one over the dead ball line. And only just a matter of 10 or 15 centimetres in it.
He's done a lot of long kicking today, Michael Monahan. They are standing deep, the Broncos. Maybe next opportunity, a little one over the top for a quick player like Brett Stewart might be the one to pull the Broncos' pants down. They've got to come up with something. That might be the thing to do it.
Brett Tate with the ball. There's a step that took him past Monahan. But covered up by Randall. 5 short of halfway. Hodges out of that mark. And then passes away. Lockyer stepping. Loose ball on the line. Barnes is with it. It was a real line ball call. It's gone against Brisbane, this one.
Again, that one came from the touch judge. The referee looked at the touch judge. He said that that did go forward from Darren Lockyer. The changes in momentum. You can win or lose your games. Manly now, the crowd really getting behind them. They sense as well that the game is there to be won.
See, a ball thrown backwards that bounces forward is fine. And I reckon that was fine from Darren Lockyer.
Nowhere near as forward as the passes we're seeing from Dummy Half.
Got past one, he got past Darren Lockyer. 41 metres away from the Brisbane line. Manly going to put the Broncos under the pump. Here's Harris. Harris able to offload. Can't recall him being tackled, taking the ball to ground the last 10-15 minutes.
And he can still cause all sorts of trouble against a tiring defence. He can attract 2 or 3 as he did then and offload.
25 metres out from the line. Monahan sweeps around to the right side of the ruck. Here he is with it, the captain. Monahan away for Terry Hill. Held there by Berrigan. 15 out from the line on tackle 4. They bring it back to centre field. Randall passes. Oh, what a pickup! Stewart on the bounce has done something incredible. Stewart goes over from what could be construed as a mistake by Manly. Stewart scores the try. Randall won't want to hear any of that. He'll say that's a try assist.
Well, again, it's an indication of how often when a ball goes to ground, everybody just tends to relax for that minute, and all of a sudden, something happens, as we've seen from Brett Stewart. Andrew's already pointed out his incredible strike rate here at Brookvale. Well, that continues. This one could be the match winner because 4 will become 6. It's a sloppy pass. Brisbane come through and play at the football, but Brett Stewart, well, he just slides through. A bouncing ball.
Unbelievable. You could smell it coming, and Seymour took the odds. There was no trouble until Seymour attacked the ball without going for the ball. He ran up and then just allowed Stewart to pick it up. You could smell this coming for the last 15 minutes. You could just feel that if Manly could get in position, something would happen for them because the Broncos have stopped to a walk.
Same thing happened exactly in the game at Ericsson last night. Todd Byrne went for a ball. He'd have raced 90 metres to score, but it ended up being a Parramatta try.
There was no trouble for the Broncos if Seymour holds his line. Williamson to go 6 in front. They got victory snatched in the last minute last week.
Right in front, and they are in front for the first time today. The lead is 6 in 9 Sunday football. 10 remaining. It's 20-14. These are the sort of finishes you like on a Sunday afternoon to wrap up round 22. We've got one. 6 points the margin. King with the ball. Bumps and bumps away from Webke. Kept alive for Manly. Lulawai outside the 10 on tackle number 1.
Now I like the thoughts of field goal, Andrew, if they can get down the other end. I can't see Brisbane scoring twice.
Randall and down for Menzies. Menzies tackled by Barnes. Dummy half is Chad Randall. Randall got away from the man, the marker. Barnes back for Terry Hill. Contained there by Webke. But they're back to the 40-metre line. They've done that in 3 tackles. That's good work. This is Lulawai. Lulawai taken low in the tackle of Costigan. 5 short of halfway. Last tackle. Kick here from Randall. Down the centre. Bounces up nicely there for Carmichael Hunt. Carmichael Hunt, look out for the step. Links up with Tate. Tate with the ball. Runs at Kennedy. Kennedy makes the tackle, 20 metres out.
Doesn't matter where he steps there, he's going to run into a maroon jumper. The kick chase was tremendous. There's nothing worse than being 6 behind in the dying stages, playing away from home against a desperate football team. Manly are desperate here today. Their enthusiasm in the second half has been infectious.
The tackle came up on Costigan. He just bounced away. Lulawai was in the thick of it again, so too Kennedy. Costigan all determination. He's not 100%, I wouldn't think, but he almost got back to halfway. Corey Parker on for Seymour. Shaped the pass inside. The defence is solid again. Harrison Williamson that time. Right on the centre of halfway. Berrick Barnes had a dummy half. Works the left side with Lockyer. Throws a pass that was flat at best. Play on the call, last tackle. Again with Lockyer down the short side. Menzies came up, took him off his feet. Maguire, still the last. Play on with Parker. Seymour, Carroll, now away for Tate. 10 metres from the line. He kicks it hard off the boot, and it's going to go over the touch and goal line. With 7.5 remaining.
Oh, yeah. Good football, good defence. The Broncos will take this down the short side at the left side of the field on tackle 5 and come right across the other side of the field. Look at the Manly chasers coming across. Look at Brett Stewart, the fullback. He's come from one side of the field to the other to shield that one into the in goal. That's desire.
And Manly with it. And Harris is the man who will play it. 25 metres out from the line. Seagulls down the short side with King. Another good crowd here today. And most of them chanting Manly right now. Over 16,000 at Brookvale. With Brent Kite. He's over the 40-metre line. Barnes takes him to ground. That crowd, 16,198. Harris and Menzies, he's cut down. That is a good tackle low. Driving in Brett Seymour. No one questioned his defence again. Kennedy 40 metres out from the Brisbane line. Last tackle. If they go field goal, it's going to be a long-range one. Monahan sets. Monahan off the boot. Rides it home. Rides it home.
Yeah.
They all go up. Michael Monahan has landed it from downtown, and they're 7 in front, the Manly side.
Well, you don't hit him any sweeter than that. He had time. He's hit it beautifully. That is black dot stuff. It's not as though he's 10 metres out. Steve Menzies knows the importance of it. He clenches the fist.
Oh, yeah. Michael Monahan. Good on you, son.
Well, the
Has any player been under more pressure this year?
The Cowboys last week had the short kickoff and the regather. Brisbane have done it here with Parker, and that is 30 metres out. There is still 6 minutes on the clock. 6 remaining, but the margin is 7. Webke with it, the competition leaders. Beaten only 4 times this year. And now Maguire to the left. Lockyer. And Lockyer, well, he acted all his options on the left side. He hung on and hung on. Now Berrigan from dummy half, 10 out with Costigan. Costigan, robust again, is held by 3 defenders, Harris, Randall and Kennedy. In front of the Manly posts, they swing to the left. Seymour and Lockyer. Lockyer's doing all he can. Trapped by Monahan. The captain comes up with another big play.
There he is again. He saved the other grubber kick from dummy half from Berrick Barnes. He's kicked the field goal. He saved one from Darren Lockyer there. The captain's having a sterling knock this afternoon. Play him anywhere you like next year. If you want to give the number 7 jersey to someone else, just don't let him leave Manly.
Here's Hicks for Manly. He gets back to halfway. They may not have finished the scoring this afternoon. Manly, they are still rolling forward. Kennedy. And he props and steps back inside. He had Stewart. The number 1 was just late to get there. Randall from dummy half makes 10. Passes for Williamson. Intercept went begging for Bott. Hicks is with the ball. Berrigan makes the tackle. 25 out from the line. Last play for Manly. Monahan wants to kick it out to the left wing. The left winger Stevenson takes underneath it. Took off. Got the ball. That is huge skills. Superb take by Brent Tate. He got up. He looked like he took off early and came down with it still.
It was a very astute kick as well. Kicked it to a man who had to catch it in the field to play. It was contested. A try was a possibility. There's also a chance of putting him back in goal, but in the end, Tate did very, very well. Brisbane struggling to get out of their own end. They're wasting tackles. This is the 4th.
And 4 minutes remaining. Berrigan that time held. And that is 15 metres inside their own half on tackle number 4. They need more than just a Webke rush now. Smith keeps it alive. Tate has been superb. Tate has found full speed. Tate is 20 metres out. Stewart comes across. Tate to the sideline. Flicks it inside. Hodges will score. Hodges has scored for Brisbane. And this game is not over. What a pass, what a run, what a try.
I thought he'd bombed it. He had Carmichael Hunt unmarked on his inside, but he backed himself against one of the quickest players in the competition in Brett Stewart. Great lead up. They didn't have many tackles left up their sleeve. They didn't have many minutes there either. Seymour looking to get the quick conversion. He's done that.
Well, there's going to be drama there as well. He called time off, and Seymour still moved in for the kick. And Simpkins basically had to blow time on while Seymour was in full stride. But what about this run? There are a few players who admire more than Brent Tate for what he's been through with injury. What about the skills we see? And Hodges scores the try. And now referee Simpkins has blown time off for the restart. Look at the pass. That is incredible. He was being taken over the sideline. It's at high speed after he'd run 50, 60 metres.
Very important here that Manly don't give away a penalty. They've got to be strong defensively to force Brisbane to kick from this end of the field, but don't give them a piggyback out. Don't give them a shot at the other end.
It couldn't happen again, could it? Last week, in the dying seconds of the game, the Cowboys snatched victory from the jaws of defeat Manly. It couldn't happen again, could it?
2.5 remaining. Tate's with the ball. He was caught a little high as he fell into the tackle, Brent Tate. He's back down. And now Smith, that was a risky ball back for Hodges. Hodges runs up. Kennedy's there with Stevenson.
The Tate's hurt there, and can they get close enough to maybe force Golden Point? They've got to get some ground in the next 2 tackles.
Lockyer for Webke. Webke running, offloads in the Kennedy tackle. Costigan fends away there from Alberts. Costigan getting close to the touchline. Williamson gets him down. Last tackle. Lockyer's had a look at the posts. Here's Lockyer. He's with the ball 40 metres out. Keeps it going on the last. Seymour inside. Quick hands. Back for Lockyer. The cover's there. Sam Harris. Slam and Sam has made the tackle on Lockyer with 90 seconds remaining. If that wasn't his nickname before today, it is now. As Tate limps off the field for Brisbane. Manly will slow it down. Haven't seen a player with cramp all day. Don't be surprised if one gets one now.
They've got to move the ball. They just can't let the set of 6 wind down too quickly. That's their 3rd tackle. They haven't got anywhere. The clock ticking up to a minute.
Randall for Harris. 40 metres out from his own line. He'll take tackle number 4. 40 metres out. Here goes Randall. He runs for 10, passes for Terry Hill.
Well, Brisbane have got to put pressure on the kicker here, surely. They've got to get through quick.
Last tackle, Terry Hill. Suddenly he's got an awful migraine. Kick at a dummy half from Randall. It's gone past Leon Bott.
Kick.
He only just pulled his hand in, Leon Bott.
Well done, Chad Randall. Not sure what his future will be at this club. Brisbane getting to the scrum to force the timeout call from the referee. They're set now. But Chad Randall, clever. They were coming up quickly, the Brisbane defenders on this side. Now he took the responsibility. What have we got, 26 seconds?
I think Leon Bott, he went very close to getting a hand on the football. Urging there from Jason King. 24 seconds on the clock. Here we go. Last couple of plays in this match, a one-point ball game. Manly in front, tackle number 1. So one of the playmakers is out Hunt. Smith, Lockyer, throws it wide, Berrigan with it. He's over the 30, he kicks. That is the last roll of the dice. It's covered up by Monahan. He picks up the ball, goes over the sideline and sends the ball into the crowd. They will count down the clock. The siren has sounded. And the Manly Premiership campaign is still alive. It is back on track. 5 straight losses, 3 at home going into today, and they have toppled the Premiership leaders, who have now lost 2 of their last 3 and face the Red Hot Dragons next Sunday. How things can turn in this incredible competition. 3 tries apiece this afternoon, and the difference between the 2 teams after 80 minutes, a Michael Monahan field goal. Let's go down to Tim Gilbert.
Well, there hasn't been a player under more pressure than Michael Monahan, the $1,000 Schick Quattro man of the match. How does that feel?
It's certainly a good win after disappointment of last week, and hopefully they'll give us a real good boost in the last 4 games of the season.
Congratulations, mate. There's $1,000 from Schick Quattro.
Thanks, mate. Thanks to Channel 9 and Schick.
What a performance, Michael Monahan, saving the day on the goal line a couple of times, fielding kicks. Look at the elation on the Manly players. What a tough test it has been for over a month for them.
And it was tough as well, and that's why they had to rise to the occasion. They did so. Monahan was great. So too Steve Menzies, Ben Kennedy. When you have a look at the competition ladder at the end of round 22, you will see how important the 2 points are this afternoon for Manly. Teams coming into 9th and 10th position into this weekend both got beaten. Tim Gilbert still down with the players.
The old firm played well, Steve. What about that one?
Yeah, it was a great effort. We had a good crowd down here. It was always going to be a tough game for us after the last couple of weeks, but the boys hung on in the end.
Is it just belief in yourself? You guys have been going so poorly the last few weeks.
Yeah, it has been. The last month hasn't been our best. Although we played, a bit better last week, and we stepped it up again this week.
Congratulations, mate.
Awesome feeling, mate. Thanks very much.
Steve Menzies, thank you for your time with Tim Gilbert there. Manly trailed 8-0 early. They trailed 14-8 at half-time. They didn't hit the front until the 69th minute of this match, when their fullback Brett Stewart crossed. The follow-up was the field goal by Monahan. A sensational try by Hodges put the Broncos back in business on an enjoyable Sunday afternoon at Brookie. But Manly, they're in the top 8. And they're there for at least another week.
Speaking to Des Hasler before the game, their coach, he was disappointed that weeks ago they had the game against Penrith wrapped up, last week against North Queensland. They'd lost 5 in a row, but they felt that they definitely should have won 2 of those. This one was in the balance, but they've been good enough to get the points this afternoon on what was a desperate afternoon here at Brookvale. It finished 3 tries apiece. Hicks, Alberts and Stewart, Seymour, Hunt and Hodges for the losers. 21-20, a great victory for Manly this afternoon. Thanks for your company this weekend. Stay with us now for National 9 News.